Welcome back to another video. It is Sunday the 12th of April. Not feeling 100% fresh today. I'm actually feeling exhausted. So I was away Friday night and then spent all of yesterday at a comp handling my lifters who had literally phenomenal days, like super meets across the board. Like both my lifters went way above expectations, perfect days, not a single red light, like amazing day yesterday. But I was at the venue from 6:30 in the morning until 7:30 in the evening, and it's a 2-hour drive back to mine in the evening, so I was home about 9:30 last night, just after. But had a fantastic day, felt pretty good throughout the day, stuck to my macros throughout the day, which I was very proud of, made sure I was hydrated as much as possible throughout the day, but obviously just general exhaustion as well, and also sleeping in the hotel Friday night, very noisy, did not get loads of sleep, but it's fine. But today, I'm feeling as good as I can expect to feel, I guess. Like I had a lay-in this morning, got a good night's sleep last night, had good food so far today, made sure to drink plenty, got quite a lot of work done as well. So I'm like pretty much caught up on work. There's a few things that I've moved kind of yesterday that aren't urgent and stuff, but like it's been a really good productive day. It's now 10 to 5, so it's kind of normal-ish training time for me on a Sunday, but it is the end of the block. It is the end of the 3-week block, and then we have literally just got the peak to go into All England. So I'm 4 weeks out from comp, like that's not very long. I'm actually quite excited for today's session though. None of the numbers are super scary. We are potentially loading a PB on bench, but we will see what happens there. Just gonna play it by how I feel, but basically on squats, I've got a top single with an RPE cap of 8, I think. And the set load is 180 to 185. So obviously I'm gonna be squatting 185 for a single unless I feel absolutely awful, which shouldn't happen. So 185 for a single, I've got a back off triple, I can't remember what the RP is. And then I've also got some lighter sets after that as well. On bench, I'm knocking things over. On bench, I've got a single, I think at like a 9. We're aiming for a pretty heavy single this week, and 117 last week moved fantastic. So I'm hoping I can at least hit like 120 today, but I don't know, like I've not hit that in this gym before. And it is a number that is kind of scary to me. Like I've only ever successfully hit it twice in my life. So we will just see, but I'm just gonna go by how I feel, go by warm-ups and stuff, but bench has been feeling really good lately. I am aware that I'm obviously tired and stuff, but I'm not gonna let that impact the session. And then I think I've got a back off set of 4 on bench, can't remember the RPE, and then I've got some lighter 4s, 100 after as well. And then sumo, ascending sets into, I think 2 singles between 175 and 180. My coach did say that he would like me to do 175 and then 180 because my sumo isn't like the big jumps don't seem to be great for my positioning and stuff on sumo right now. However, the stubborn side of my brain is saying, nope, prove him wrong, you can do it. So we will just see how I feel. But that is all from memory, so I could have got the plan completely wrong. But I'm feeling good. Body weight this week has done exactly what we needed it to. So last week, my body weight absolutely shot up, partly because I did have a couple of off-plan meals, and also because I was stressed so badly last week, like so badly. My nutrition coach refused to drop my calories because she said, and I quote, that will be covering up the problem, which is completely true. So actually this week, I've just really focused on dealing with my stress levels. We've kept my calories at 2,400 and my body weight is back in the 85s today. I was 85.8 this morning. I probably was in the 85s yesterday as well, but I didn't take my scales with me to the hotel that I stayed in. So back in the 85s, 2,400 calories to get back down to the 85s is like amazing for me. Steps have been pretty high first half of the week, Friday, Saturday, and then today they've kind of dwindled down again. But like a low day for me now is still in the 8,000s, although today we are not in the 8,000s because I've not done a single walk yet today. But generally speaking, as long as I'm quite happy as long as I know the first half of the week I'm getting in as many steps as I can, like 12,000-ish each day. Then if I'm like 8 to 10,000 Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when I'm a bit busier and like life's just kind of getting in the way of me being able to go and like go for those long walks, that's totally fine. To be fair though, this week now coming up is the last week that I'm actually away before comp. So I think I'm possibly staying away Friday night, got an event on Saturday, and then I'll be home Saturday evening. Haven't booked anything in terms of hotel, but if I don't get a hotel, I'm gonna have to leave here at like 6 in the morning Saturday. And as I said to my boyfriend the other day, I have adult money now. I don't need to be getting up stupidly early just to get to events. Like I can book a hotel. I am an adult now. So I might be booking a hotel. I need to plan what I'm doing. I've been so like just 1 week at a time lately, and it's definitely helped in terms of like stress and stuff, but I'm usually an over planner and I've not been overly planning anything, but it's fine. So yeah, 1 more weekend away and then I'm at home for the final couple of weeks into comp. So I'm not feeling too stressed right now about anything really. Like I'm actually feeling pretty good. And yeah, I'm staying on top of everything. Yeah, pretty happy. I'm looking forward to this session, but I'm tired, so we will see. I'm trying a pump pre-workout. It's not got any caffeine or anything in. It's an ESN sachet that I got for free, God knows when. I've had so many in the cupboard for ages. It's like a sour apple flavour. Taste is fantastic. Texture is awful. So I added extra water to try and help it because it just like feels like I've got sand in my mouth. I don't take pre-workout. I don't have like coffee or anything. Like the most I'll have is a can of Monster before training, but usually I actually don't. I'll have cans of Monster during the day, and by the time I start training, I'm having an energy crash from the caffeine from the Monsters. I had one can of Monster this morning at like 10-ish, maybe 11, that I finished at like 1:30, and it's now nearly 5. So that's all I've really had in terms of caffeine, but I didn't want to have another can of Monster now because I've also only got one left, and there are more arriving tomorrow, and I didn't want to take the last one. So I was like, right, let's try this today, because if it works well, I'll get some in and I'll try and have this pre-training because there's no caffeine in it or anything. But the texture's not great, so I don't know. Don't really know. We will see. But obviously, I've made it pretty far without taking anything, so I don't think I need to start taking anything. But yeah, do not recommend the texture of this. The taste is nice, but yeah, I don't want to drink sand. I'm just talking for the sake of talking, so I'm going to stop and I'm going to start getting ready to train.
Fatal attraction, lovers in action. Yeah. One of us is gonna get hurt. You got your madness, and I'm good at bad habits. Oh, one of us is gonna get hurt. I'm no one to trust, ask anyone, and you will see it. I love for the thrill. I'm dead serious, it's you or me, you best believe it. This is not a drill. This is fatal attraction. These are times of crowds of passion. One of us gonna get hurt. Took a shot for the magic, but we're crashing into tragic. One of us gonna get hurt. I would love to see you cry. I would love to shut you out. Baby, I'm the gift that's never given. Whoa.
Okay, so being completely honest, very mixed bag with squats. The single was not as quick as it should have been, and I'm really mad about it. It didn't feel hard. Nothing felt particularly light on my back today, and obviously I am tired, but I did like put that to the back of my mind, went in super confident, and actually first couple warm-up sets felt amazing, so I was really excited to have like a really, really positive, like quick, good, undershot squat day. The 170 last warm-up was okay, and I knew that I had 185, I just had to commit. And I think what happened was I was a bit hesitant on the descent, so there was no thought of failing it. I knew I had it, but I was a little bit too slow on the descent, that I didn't quite get the same kick out of the hole that I often get when I squat heavy, and it was just slow. It was still on target, like the goal was an RPE 8, it was probably an 8, realistically, it was probably less than an 8, and had I had spotters around me, it would have moved a lot better, and I do know that with full confidence, but I'm just mad that it didn't move at like the same speed as my 175 last week. But also, I think that's the heaviest I've squatted in a while anyway, like we haven't pushed squats for a while. So it is what it is, it's fine. Back off though, very positive, because my ambitious goal for today was 175 for a triple, like below RPE 8. That was what I wanted. The target was an RPE of 8. I want to take 175, which is 10 kilos below obviously the single, and make it move as an undershoot. Like that was my like ambitious goal for the day with squats, and it was achieved. The 175 triple felt lovely. Like it wasn't super quick, but I'm not a quick squatter. There were 3, 4, 5 more reps in the tank without a doubt. Like it was super comfortable, and I was just way more confident in that. So that was a positive, and I'm just going to kind of forget about the single because I know like this isn't competition day, so it doesn't matter. We're still heading in the right direction. And then back off 5s, I don't think I filmed. I might have filmed one set, not sure. So I had 2x5 at 150, and they were literally so comfortable. The best my rep work has felt on squats in a long time, which will be because this is, you know, my second block of actually eating food again. Whereas before, obviously before British Bench, I was in such a strong deficit, or like a heavy deficit, or like a large deficit, that everything kind of just felt awful, which is to be expected. And now I'm really noticing the effects that having that extra food has had. So I'm not too upset. I'm trying to see the positive of like, yes, the single was a little bit slower than I wanted, but it was still on track and it was fine. Like it was fine. And the rep work after it was so like really good. So I'm not too upset about it, but I just want it to be a little bit quicker, but it's fine. All is good. Now I'm just gonna set up and get bench done.
I don't know what else to say, so make sure you stay away. Baby, this is war, but no one's winning. Oh, I'm dead serious, it's you or me, you best believe it. This is not a drill. This is fatal attraction. These are towers of crowds of passion. One of us gonna get hurt. Took a shot for the magic, but we're crashing into tragic. One of us gonna get hurt. So if you want your head and heart unbroken, you better leave now, 'cause this is fatal attraction.
Okay, so I am trying pretty hard not to just crash out. Realistically, nothing is that bad. But I just feel so angry at how, well, not even angry, just upset at how everything is going. Like, bench feels awful tonight. I matched my best ever bench. It was sloppy. My butt lifted, minuscule amount, and I think the soft pad would cover it, but that's not good enough. My butt lifted, my last one was at 115. I literally was like, what the fuck is wrong with me as I re-racked it because it was so sloppy. I watched it back and it was pretty quick still, which is why I still went for the 120. The 120 was harder than I wanted it to be as well, but again, my tech feels so off tonight, which is just infuriating because bench has been going so well. So I'm really unhappy with the 120, even though part of my brain is like, you benched 120 at 85 body weight. This is the lightest you've sat leading into a competition. This is the most you've ever benched leading into a competition. Why are you upset? Like, I know my bench peaks well, but I think until I've had a comp where I get 3 benches again of my butt not lifting, or just have a comp where my butt doesn't lift, I'm going to be really hyper, like, almost like extra emotional around benching until I can like remind myself that all is fine. Because I have this horrible, like, catastrophizing like thought right now where it's, and I've had it for the last, well, since British Bench, to be honest, since the World's invite came through, I am like panicking that if bench goes badly at All England's, which is 2.5 weeks before Bench Worlds, I'm not going to want to go to Bench Worlds. Like, I'm really not. And I'm going to have an awful 2.5 weeks of just like almost expecting things to go terribly wrong. Because like, if I fly all the way to Poland and I miss out on technicalities again, like, I'm not going to be okay. Like, that's not okay. And I think I'm being dramatic. And I know I'm being dramatic. And I'm hoping just speaking it out loud is going to help me be like, Shine, you're being stupid. But I'm really not happy with bench. Like, the 110, like, it was fine. It was meant to be a set of 4. The 3 reps weren't hard. My tech was just off. And I should have had the 4th rep, but like, I can't express it. It just felt really off. Like, I didn't feel, like, I felt like I was just muscling it up and there was no tech involved, which I was trying so hard with my setup and everything to make everything look undeniable, and it just wasn't. Also, my shoes, like, so I'm selling my Hyper Vs that I bought because they're way too big, and because they're way too big, when my feet slide to the front of them, the heels automatically lift up. To be fair, this pair of Avancas that I'm wearing are also too big, so a similar thing happens, and the Avancas aren't the best for heel lift anyway. So until my new Hyper Vs arrive, which I don't even know when they're due to arrive, hopefully next week, I'm also worrying about my heels lifting on bench. Like, so many things that I'm just like, this is going to go wrong, this is going to go wrong. And I'm really like, I'm very aware of the fact that's not a good way to think. And I'm trying to like rewire that, but I'm just not having a good time. And I don't want, like, I'm in the mindset of like, I just don't want to do anymore. Like, I just want to give up now. Not give up forever, but like give up this training session, which I'm not going to do. And I'm obviously going to carry on, but I was going to sit and like have a bit of a ramble after the single. And I was like, no, let's just get the rest of bench done. And then you can talk about it. But then the 110 set of 4 went wrong. And I was like, okay, no, you need to just give yourself a couple of minutes. I've got, I think, 3x4 at 100 left, which should be fine. If that's not fine, then I will crash out. But I just don't understand. Like, logically, I'm probably just exhausted. Like, I feel exhausted in myself today, but I came into last weekend's session feeling exhausted after further travel, less sleep. Like, I had a good night's sleep last night in my own bed. So in my head, I was like, well, if last week's session went really well, there's no reason this week's can't. But I also was kind of bloated and I had a lot of extra food in me. Like, for last week's session, I think my body weight was like 87 kilos roughly. So I was 85 and a half, 85.8 today. So like, not that that's going to make a difference, but I just had more food in my system, I guess. Like, my body weight was a bit heavier and inflated last weekend, which obviously can make a difference as well. But like, I'm trying to remind myself that I've just benched 120 on a terrible bench day. And I've benched 110 for a triple on a terrible bench day. But it doesn't feel like that's enough. I do also feel, and this is a really bad way to think, but again, this is a competitive sport. The whole point is being stronger than other people. I feel like I'm falling behind. And last time I felt like this, a few years ago, I had the best string of training ever because I was not okay with feeling that way. So I'm kind of hoping that that's where this is leading. But that's really how I feel right now, and I'm not okay with that. Like, I am not okay with that at all. So yeah, that's where my brain's at. And I'm kind of just catastrophizing, and I feel like I'm just going to let myself have some time to catastrophize, but I also just want to get the rest of this session done. I'm hoping sumo feels good. I'm hoping my back off bench feels okay. Like, it should be fine. It's 100 sets of 4. Like, that isn't really anything heavy, and I can muscle through that. But yeah, I'm not having a fun time, and I kind of just want to go in and lay on the sofa. I have got a really chilled week coming up though. Like, next week I've got podcasts booked in, and I've got like a couple of client calls booked in, but other than that, I've got a really calm week. So I'm keeping it that way, hopefully, and I'm just going to use it to actually decompress, because I think that's exactly what I need. And yeah, don't feel like I'm thriving right now, but I do have in my back of my head, like, I've not benched 120 in training since December. I think it was like 2023, it might have been 2024. The only time I've benched 120 in the last 2 years is at comp in December at the British Open. In training leading into that, I benched 117. My bench is by far the strongest it's ever been, and I know my bench peaks well. So as long as I can keep on top of the technicalities, bench should be great on comp day. But I just want a few weeks of good training. Like, that's all I'm asking for. And I know if I have another bad comp, I'm going to be so incredibly upset. But I'm also telling myself that it's not, and I've said this in previous videos, it's not the end of the world if I have a bad comp at the English, because that's not the most important comp for me. I'm not doing Commonwealth this year, even if I get a spot. Like, I've already set that. But the thing is, I think if I have a bad comp as well, I'm probably not going to want to do British in December, which is like the milestone comp for me every year, because I'm not willing to show up weaker than I know I am. Like, I know, and that sounds silly, but I know I have so much more strength than what I'm currently putting forwards. And granted, I've only just gotten healthy again with my hamstring issue. And like, now that I'm healthy again, actual movement pattern on squats has felt amazing. Strength doesn't quite feel the same as it used to, but it's getting there. Bench is the strongest it's ever been. It's just not the technically cleanest it's ever been, which is really bothering me. I don't know. I will also say though, I do usually get an unrack when I train on this bench and go heavy, and I haven't been. So that usually does also add a couple of kilos. So I'm hopeful that a good peak, a little bit of a taper, in 4 weeks time, bench will show up and I'll hit like a nice PB. Like, even at 122, like a 2.5 PB, I'll be super happy with. But the thing is as well with bench wells, I'm not really worried about placing with bench wells. Like, I just want to go 3 for 3 and have a really nice clean like session and like lifting session, and just kind of redeem myself from what I did at bench nationals, and then I'll probably call it quits with bench only. But if I can get my bench in the mid 120s, I will be in contention for at least 5th place. So I do kind of have that in the back of my mind as well. Like, I would like to make 120, 122 routine between now and then, which isn't that long away. And if I can do that for my 3rd, we could load up and potentially get me at 5th place spot, which is great for team points. And it's just like top 5 in the world would be pretty cool. But we will see. I need to just not put the pressure on myself and just I'm not really in the mood to train. Like, I'll be honest, not like the last few weeks of training, I've been really like enjoying my playlist, just having fun. I'm not having fun tonight. Like, I do just want the session over with, which definitely won't be helping either. It is also cold out here. I think that's probably not helping. I should have put the heater on, but because it's mild now, I didn't think I'd need to, but I am quite cold. I'm going to stop talking. This is such a long segment. This is like the longest rest break in my life.
Times of crimes of passion. One of us gonna get hurt. You've got the madness in you. I've got the badness in me. You know what you gotta do. If you got any sanity, this is fatal attraction. These are times of crimes of passion. One of us gonna get hurt. Took a shot for the magic, but we're crashing into tragedy.
I don't really know what to say. Deadlifts couldn't have gone any worse. They felt terrible from the get-go. Tried to just trick myself into thinking they felt good, take my time, be patient. The 167 or 165 double, like the plan today was to do 2 singles at 180, but because it doesn't look like my deadlift's the best when it comes to 15 kilo jumps, we were going to do 175 into 180. And previous weeks I'd literally said to my coach, I'm going to make 180 move like an opener. Like I fully believe I can do that. And I came in with that attitude today, thinking that sumo was going to be fine. Warming up didn't feel good, but 175 should still be super easy. And I couldn't break the floor with it twice, which, to be honest, the second time maybe mentally checked out a little bit, but the first time I really thought I had it and it just didn't move. And I don't know if it's just where I've been doing such light sumo for so long in a super wide stance that I'm just not able to, like that's maybe not the stance for me when it gets heavier, and I can't replicate that at top end, which I'm 4 weeks out. So if that is the case, this is not the time to find out. And honestly, literally the first thing that came to my head was, if I can't even pull 175 after 8-9 years in this sport, why am I bothering? Like that was the mindset that I had when I failed it, which sucks. But I am trying to remind myself that this is just a bad session. Like nothing's felt great today. Yeah, there's not really much to say. Like I know how I feel right now is just like an emotional reaction. It's me being super tired. None of it obviously helps. Like conditions weren't optimal, I guess. I mean, positive is that my leg feels healthy. But this was not the session that I needed, and it makes, like, I'm going to compete. I've paid. I'm not going to not show up. I need to get a qualifier for nationals if I decide to do it. But honestly, right now, like, part of me is like, if I have another bad meet, I'm going to just quit. But I know I'm not going to quit. Like, I know that I will continue to go even if I have another bad meet. But like, mentally, to have another bad meet, it makes me then think to myself, how am I going to cope with another prep, like mentally, if it's now, like I've been so oblivious to the fact that I'm 4 weeks out until I was at comp yesterday and people were asking me when my next comp was, and then I realised it was 4 weeks away, and I don't know if maybe it's just the realisation that I'm 4 weeks out has just suddenly made me like internally freak out without realising or what's happening, but I'm trying to stay calm and just enjoy the prep and have fun. Like I lift my best when I'm having fun, and obviously I haven't had fun today, so that's part of it as well, but yeah, if my sumo is no higher than it was, even lower than it was, which I know it's not lower, it's just a bad day, but if my sumo is no higher than it was 5-6 months ago at British, then what is the point? Like, what is the point? Like, I'm not, like, yeah, I don't know. Trying not to be super negative, but also just going to let myself feel shit about it for the night because it is a shit end of block. Obviously, there are positives, like I benched 120 on my own. Like, that's cool, but it's not enough. Like, realistically, for who I am, where I want to be, what I know I can be capable of, or what I truly believe I'm capable of, it's not enough at all, across the board. So trying to not be hard on myself, because like obviously I do love training, I love the sport, whatever, and this is just one bad day, but it shouldn't have been a bad day, and I think that's what's bothering so much. Like, I did everything I could to mitigate the fact that I was away yesterday. I slept in my own bed last night. I had like 10 hours in bed. Like, there is no reason I should be feeling this rubbish. Like, there really isn't. But I am, I guess. Probably not the best note to end the video on, but I've got nothing else to say. I am going to give myself off the night off of doing my rehab stuff, just because it took everything I had to just get through the end of training, which I would never recommend skipping rehab stuff, but my pain is near enough gone. I did still do it on Wednesday, and I will continue it twice a week from next week. But honestly, I just want to get in and get some food in me and go for a walk, just get some fresh air. But yeah, I'm very not happy, mildly internally panicking about just showing up to comp and being shit. Like 175 was my opener at my last comp, and now I'm unable to pull it. Like, that's not okay. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap the video up here.
One of us